and welcome back, and welcome to another One Piece video. Today is the day I am starting the next saga. So East Blue is now finished. I've let some time just go by, just to let my thoughts go, and I'm excited to start the next saga. So the first arc of the saga is only chapters 101 to 105. But it's another short arc, so this is going to be a bit of a shorter video anyway. I still haven't. That will still take me only to the middle of volume 12, so I still haven't finished volume 12, but I have up to volume 15. My plan is I'm going to get the single volumes up to volume 24, and then I'm going to get the box sets. I think there was a comment about, someone commented about getting the digital volumes. I like reading digitally, but it's just nice to have physical volumes. I don't think anything can top that, so that's why I'm going. But like I said, I'm not rushing my journey. We're just gonna carry on. So we're gonna start with chapter 101, which is the beginning of the Reverse Mountain arc. And interesting illustration, yeah. So let's go ahead and start. It's starting off exciting. We're finally getting the look at how they're going, like sailing through the Grand Line. And so you have to go through the Grand Line, they have to sail up a mountain. So Nami explains, like, there's like a current, there's two oceans, and the Grand Line is sandwiched between that. But to actually enter the Grand Line, you need to go up the mountain. So like, I think it's to do with, she was explaining it's to do with like the currents and going up that. And because at first they were drifting away from the Grand Line, and there's like, we get to see these like creatures, these giant Neptunians, which I'm guessing we might see more of. We might see like different creatures like this. Enjoying seeing more of the world building and what's going on, and just Nami explaining how they're going to get the Grand Line. And I suppose that's probably why they need the map to follow the mountain, because obviously Nami's the navigator. But yeah, that's probably the majority of chapter 101. It's just them entering the Grand Line. So they finally entered, and so the journey can begin. So let's carry on reading. Of course, it's not going to be smooth sailing for the next chapter. So they enter the Grand Line and they run into a whale. Like, there's a humongous whale. Like, I'm probably like a Leviathan size. And it just got me thinking, like, is there a reason why all the animals are massive? Is there a reason? Is it just like kind of like how sea monsters work, or is it just how the animals are in One Piece? I'm not too sure. It hasn't really been explained. I don't know if anyone can like tell me if that's explained later on. I'm just curious, because the whale is absolutely massive. He doesn't notice them at first, so they try and get away, but the whale accidentally breaks Luffy's seat on the ship. So Luffy doesn't like that, and so he attacks the whale. So the ship, all the rest of his crew gets swallowed by the whale, and Luffy somehow ends up on top of the whale, and because he aggravated the whale. But everyone's landed in the whale, and it's like they're in another ocean, and there's a house there, and then somebody's come out of the house. But then Luffy, before the whale dives down, has found a hatch with like a load of corridors and things. So it seems like something's going on with this whale, but I feel like it's almost been militarized somehow. But yeah, I'm just curious about how big the animals actually get, because the whale's massive. Like, I'd say it's even big. Like, I suppose size of scale, it's bigger than an actual blue whale in real life. But yeah, let's read chapter 103, The Whale. So it's quite sad actually when I've just finished that chapter, but I also got my explanation as to why the whale is so big. So the whale is called Laboon, and he is an island whale, so it's one of the biggest whales in the world, and they only live in the West Blue. So that answered my question about why the animal was so big, so fair enough. But these two people, so Luffy's going down the old man came out of the hut and he lives inside the whale, and he, so there's a bit of a conflicting information till he explains, and then Luffy runs into these people called Mr. Nine and Mrs. Wednesday. Why does that sound like some sort of code, some weird code name? They're trying to do whaling and the old man is trying to stop it, so Luffy and the crew help him. So the old man explains, like, a group of pirates came down from Reverse Mountain with Laboon as a baby, and the whale is trying to like ram his head against the oceans and trying to find them. So the old man's looking after him, but this poor whale just wants to be with his friends, because he was saying like the whales travel in the pods, but he was with these pirates and they were his friends, and I'm like, that's quite sad. But yeah, we've only got 2 more chapters left, and that is the end of this arc. So let's go to chapter 104, Cape Promise. So the old man is actually a doctor. Obviously he's been living with this whale the whole time. But the pirates, he tells them that the pirates that Laboon was friends with have actually fled the Grand Line, but they don't know what became of their fate, so they're never coming back really. So they left this poor whale all on his own, which is just really depressing. Like, it's like leaving your pet really, or your friend. Like, why would you do this? But Laboon refused to listen to reason, so he's been slamming his head against the seas to try and break the line, or trying to get them to come back. But he's got so many scars on his forehead that he might die from the injuries. So Luffy then takes it upon himself to attack Laboon with the ship's mast, and everyone's watching him like, yeah, that's the ship's mast. But he's doing it so that Laboon has a rival, and that when they come back here they're going to fight again. So he's trying to help this whale, give him a reason to wait. But you just giving him a reason to stop doing it and to wait for another fight. So I'm like, that's really nice of Luffy, and it's something very like Luffy would do. It's stupid and endearing at the same time. So we've got 1 more chapter, and that's the end of the Reverse Mountain arc. So let's start reading. So he's put a mark on the whale on Laboon's head. poor guy, which Luffy is saying is the mark of a contract. So I like that. But the poor whale has got a little contract. Oh, so don't go rambling into stuff. Yeah, I thought he did it to stop him doing that. I'm loving the world building that we're getting now. For example, like this panel, like this page I've just read, like the old man's talking about like the compass, because the Grand Line, or the Red Line, is on a magnetic field. And because Nami has been trying to get the compass to work, but it hasn't. And then Luffy says, is it like this, you need a special compass? And he like picks it up, and then Nami's like, where did you get that? It's like called a log compass, and it's like in the shape of a log. And he's like, I picked it up from those weird people that were trying to whale. Speaking of them, I forgot to mention, they said they were part of an organisation. I'm wondering, we will see them again. So they're going to be some sort of antagonists, because you don't just randomly introduce characters like that and not have... Oda's setting up something, so I'm very excited to see that. But yeah, and then the man's talking about the legendary island, like, so because the Grand Line is on a magnetic field, you have to choose a line to follow, but all of the islands lead to one, and then there's like this legendary island which is called Reftal, which is like this where the Pirate King has been. So I'm assuming that's probably where the One Piece is. Oh yeah, even Usopp says, is that where it says the One Piece? So yeah, so we'll see how things go. But it's nice to know that they have got a final destination in mind. And Luffy, being an idiot, just ate like the stuff for Nami that Sanji prepared, and then he got kicked off by Nami, and they've lost the compass. but then the old man volunteers to get them to them, so that's good. So Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday, so they're just spying on, because they're on like a raft, and then there's some person coming to pick them up called Mr. 13, which is this mysterious sea otter and the mysterious vulture Mrs. Friday. So this organisation, are the women called by the days of the week and the men, or the men, menish, whatever they are, or whatever the creatures are, by numbers? It's a bit of a weird organisation. Oh, so the vulture dropped them off by Luffy's crew, and they're asking for a favour, which is called Whiskey Peak, which I think is the name of the next arc. So yeah, so that's how it gets. It's the name of their town. Oh, so of course they're trying to be sneaky and things like that, thinking the pirates are being stupid because Luffy's being kind, but I don't think we'll outplay him. I think they'll begin. So they're leaving. So they're now leaving. He was called the Flower Man. I've just been calling him the Old Man. So this last panel, the boy has a strange air about him. Hey, Roger. I wonder if he used to be part of Roger's crew, maybe. Because there's not a lot that we know about Gold Roger at all. So I'm very curious to know about that. But yeah, there's a lot of arcs in Volume 12. There's like 3 arcs part of Volume 12. Like, I think I've still got another 3 chapters for in Volume 12. So hopefully I'll be finishing this volume at some point. But yeah, that is the Reverse Mountain arc. So I think that arc was more setting up the next arc, to be honest, more than anything else, and it giving us a sense of like world building and like having a character explain a little bit how the Grand Line actually works. So for terms of like length, I think that was a good length for that arc. Not really a lot to say about that arc, to be honest. I feel like it was just very like world building, but I like looking at the world building. I think it was nice. It gave us a moment to just breathe, and just introduce and slowly introduce us to the world of like the Grand Line before things really kick off. So I think that's quite a breathable arc, if that makes sense. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be reading the next arc very soon, and I will see you then for the next chapter in One Piece. For the next chapter of my journey in One Piece.